Okay, I hope everybody can hear me. Not if you can. Yes, good. I wanted to take the opportunity to welcome everybody to the Carbon Reduction Challenge Finalist Expo today, the culmination of a summer of extremely hard work by a number of very dedicated and passionate students that we'll be hearing from today, as well as a fairly also passionate and hardworking staff to shepherd them through this process and culminate in this event today that we're happy to have virtually for the first time ever in the Carbon Reduction Challenge history. I wanted to recognize the co-director of the Carbon Reduction Challenge, Dr. Beryl Toktai, who is on the line. Beryl, you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. I'm looking forward to the final presentations.
Fabulous. And also I want to, of course, acknowledge Lalith Polapeti and Kirsty Lukens, without whose support we wouldn't be here today, and the students would not have accomplished all that you're about to hear about today. And at the top, I'd also like to recognize the partnership that this represents between the Global Change Program at Georgia Tech, of which I am the director and Lalith is a core part of, and then the Ray C. Anderson Center for Sustainable Business that Beryl Toktai directs, and Kirsty Lukens plays a very important part of as well. And so we would be remiss if we wouldn't acknowledge the funding from the Ray C. Anderson Foundation, which has enabled this collaboration to take flight over the last several years. We're grateful for that, as well as the Jag Sheth Foundation that is providing the funding for the prizes that we will be handing out later this hour. Super exciting. All right, Kirsty, you want to click to the next slide, review what we're going to do during this exciting time together? So the Carbon Reduction Challenge Finalist Expo today is really designed to provide you with a little bit more of an in-depth look into the different student projects that we had this summer, and we'll move through those finalist presentations during the next block of time after a tiny overview about the Carbon Reduction Challenge. And then we will allow, I hope, a very engaged and excited audience to interact with our student finalists and ask them some questions, maybe digging to the next layer of the work that they have done this summer, allowing them to share much more than they will be able to in the short presentations that you'll hear about. And then we will, as judges, recuse ourselves from that and allow you to have discussion while we deliberate on the finalists and come back to award the finalists their much deserved awards at about 3 p.m. So please stay just after the hour to unveil the awards for a bunch of students who are going to be sitting in high suspense, as well as I'm sure our audience as well. Just some housekeeping. Please do mute your audio as you join us today to allow the presentations to go forth uninterrupted. But please do feel free to engage on the chat with any questions that you have about the event or the presentations as they're rolling forward. I think the students would really appreciate that kind of feedback, as would we on the Carbon Reduction Challenge team and support, trying to understand how folks think about this kind of event and of the challenge in general, as well as the individual projects. So let's go to the next slide, and I will let Beryl take it over to discuss a little bit about how we conceived of this summer's special version of the Carbon Reduction Challenge, in addition to a little bit about the overarching goals of the challenge and its history to date. Beryl?
Thank you, Kim, and everyone. Very excited to be here today, and very excited about this ongoing partnership with the Global Change Program and Kim. So as you know, this year we conceived the challenge to be around COVID-induced behaviors, whether that be around more universally adopted strategies like working from home, or some changes to the company's operations that were the result of again, the changing operating conditions. So beyond that, the main principles of the challenge stayed the same, that we were hoping that you will immerse yourselves and learn more about climate, learn how to quantify carbon dioxide and cost savings, that you'll have an experience which is entrepreneurial in a way, in that you pitch the idea to management and try to enlist their support. And of course, at the end of the summer, hear from all these exciting projects and have this competition where we see what's been effective and what we can learn, perhaps even more importantly, about you know, COVID has been a disruptive event, but if there's a silver lining, what is it that we can learn, that we can take forward post the disruption that would be a positive change going forward? So that's really the exciting thing about having been able to continue this challenge this summer, and we are, very grateful to all of you who, under challenging situations, stepped up, and we're very proud of all of you. We can move on to the next slide. Or maybe there is no next slide. Okay, Kim, do you want to take over here? You're muted.
I am muted, of course, I'm muted. So yeah, this is a list of all the students who have made it through the entire summer of Carbon Reduction Challenge and have have all their deliverables in and all the feedback received from the team, and have submitted their final video that you're about to see in a second to compete for these finalist prizes. And so I want to give a big shout out to not only these students who managed to check all the boxes down the line in a very strange summer indeed, but also to the almost 70 students, many of you whom I'm sure are tuning in today, who participated in the challenge, who signed up originally, who did so much work in many, many cases, inspired our team and met with us in office hours, and I know will carry a portion of these learnings and these lessons and that passion with them for the rest of their lives. So I want to give a special shout out not only to our finalists and semi-finalists, but also to every participant of the CRC who's on today. Thank you very much. I also wanted to give a special thank you to their partners, many of whom are probably also listening today, in recognition of your deep investments in this next generation of sustainability and climate leaders. The shared goals that we have in this space can only be accomplished through these kinds of partnerships, intergenerational in nature and multi-sector in nature. And so we're very grateful, Beryl and I and the rest of the team, for your engagement as well. And I know you're probably waiting to see, some of you, whether your participant will win the grand prize here. But the prizes are to be shared, not just today, but for decades to come in the work and the transformative work that you all have accomplished today. So thank you as well, as we get our videos started today. Let's see, Chersi Lalith, I think, is that the next step here? Okay, so moving into the finalists, you are about to hear the very short video presentations from our finalists today. And we're super excited to note that we have not just folks from Georgia Tech participating in the challenge as we do every year, but this year we have a slate of finalists that includes students from Emory, Agnes, Scott, as well as Georgia Tech, students that have come from all disciplines to the Carbon Reduction Challenge, which is something that we celebrate every year, and make it into these final rounds, really a testament to the diverse skill sets that can make you extremely successful in the pursuit of these shared goals. All the way from the technical expertise required to complete this challenge to the stakeholder engagement and all the writing and deliverables that they had to produce. These particular students truly showed what it means to excel across the many dimensions that allow you to be a sustainability leader, as we all already know. So I know that they gained a valuable lesson, and we're about to see a real treat in understanding a little bit more about their projects. Let's see, Beryl, you want to say anything before we get the video started?
Oh, I just want to say again how proud I am of everybody, and also especially our finalists. I think our shared goal across your center and mine is to educate the leaders of the future who deeply care about sustainability and who can put it to action, not just in their personal lives, but also in their careers. And with this effort that you've taken this summer, you've taken the first step in being lifelong learners and lifelong contributors in a corporate setting, in an industry setting, wherever you are. So that's, again, very exciting. And thanks all of you for coming all the way to the end and for what we're about to see.
All right, so first up, we're going to hear from Adrianna Fu, who is pictured here, and she was interning at UPS this summer, and she worked on a carbon reduction project that centered on altered work from home plan, as well as digging into what the benefits would be of a greater customer awareness about ground versus air shipping at UPS. So very interesting combination there. Let's hear from Adrianna.
Thanks, Kim. And then just a quick reminder, please pop your questions into the chat if you have any while you're watching these videos. And also, we're going to be sharing the presentations via a link in the chat as well. So if you want to go back to any of these finalists and see their project, we will be providing that.
Hello, my name is Adrianna Fu, and I've been interning at UPS this summer and participating in the Carbon Reduction Challenge on my emission demolition project. Here's a quick snapshot of my recommendations in total carbon reduction and cost savings annually. My first recommendation is that UPS adds a most sustainable notation to their ground shipping option on their ups.com website. Secondly, UPS can implement a 4-day per week work from home policy for its over 3,000 Atlanta-based employees post-COVID-19. Here is a mock-up of the ups.com shipping website and some close-ups of what it would look like to call out UPS Ground as the most sustainable, either as the default or off to the side as it is now. Assuming this notation is implemented and there is a 5% increase in customers choosing ground over air shipping, UPS could reduce carbon emissions by an estimated 24 million pounds. My mock-ups have been presented to the UPS Sustainability Group and is awaiting approval to undergo A/B testing. Going into my work from home recommendation, I based my calculations off of survey results to capture gallons saved per worker per year when working from home 3, 4, or 5 days of the week. Here are the results for the average individual and total for Atlanta UPSers. I recommended working from home 4 days per week because the majority of UPSers in my pre-survey preferred this option. Total carbon savings here are over 9 million pounds. Some co-benefits UPSers mentioned in that survey were increased time to spend with family, sleep, exercise, and more. I also found that many UPSers reported no change or increases in productivity and performance working from home. In the future, I would like to add additional cost factors like utilities and card depreciation and increase my sample size. Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, great. Ariana, are you here? Are you able to unmute?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Congratulations on making it to the finalist round.
Thank you.
So I guess we're going to ask one question of you live here, and then of course the audience can participate in a more extended Q&A with all of you in a short while after we complete the videos. But I guess I wanted to ask you what was the most challenging aspect of completing the Carbon Reduction Challenge for you in achieving some of the results that you have presented today?
Yeah, sure. I think the greatest challenge for me was probably just getting all of the pieces right, as in trying to talk to people in the sustainability department while working in the healthcare department. I felt a little out of my depth, or like I was talking to people who maybe were not interested in what I was doing. And so I think that was probably the most challenging part for me. Also, that they had a lot of data that I was interested in already, but I wasn't on the right team to access that data. And so I actually met some great people in the sustainability department at UPS who really supported and helped me along the way.
That sounds about right. Sounds a very good learning experience for you. All right.
For
Well,
sure.
thank you so much, Adrianna. Stick around, of course, and we'll move to our next finalist video here. Kirsty?
Thank you.
Sure. Our next video is from Annamarie Eustice, who interned at Georgia Tech Water Lab.
Hello, my name is Annamarie Eustice, and today I will be talking to you about my plan for a post-COVID, post-carbon research conference. So as an overview, I am recommending that the Electrochemical Society provide a virtual option for their biannual meetings. And ultimately, this will have a large carbon reduction potential and significant cost savings. And so to go into my background, I work for the Georgia Tech Water Lab, which conducts research on the thermodynamics and interface science of electrochemical technologies and often attends the Electrochemical Society meetings. And this is a professional society whose biannual meetings often gather many researchers to travel and emit a lot of flight emissions. And so by just allowing 50% of attendees to attend virtually, this can have a big impact without limiting the function of the in-person meeting. So the carbon reductions, I calculated a bracket calculation of a low estimate and a high estimate, and on the low end, it would still have a significant impact of 27.3 metric tons of CO2 being reduced, and to put that in perspective, it would take around 6 years for your average passenger vehicle to have this level of impact. And now in terms of cost savings, this would save the Electrochemical Society $172,000 per meeting, double that for a biannual meeting, and it would save the Water Lab almost $15,000 a year. Now, the main co-benefits here are inclusivity in terms of the people who are often unable to attend in-person conferences being able to attend. So these are disabled individuals or people who have to pay for childcare and can't travel. And because there are more people participating, then you have increased international collaboration. And also from my pre-survey data, I have seen that members of the Water Lab believe they will be more productive if they don't have to spend this time traveling. So my next step is to meet with members of the Electrochemical Society Board of Directors and Meetings Committee and to work with them to develop a report on which virtual conference platforms, as there are many available, particularly during COVID-19, that will meet their specific needs. Here are my resources. Thank you. Hello, my name is Annamarie Eustice.
Hi, Annamarie. Are you unmuted? Hi there, can you hear me? I can't hear you when you speak. Maybe you're muted.
Maybe we can ask her the question a little later, or she can also answer in the chat.
Maybe, or you could type in your answer during the next. I guess I'll stick with the same reflection question of what was the biggest learning for you during this project, and what was the biggest challenge? So since your audio is not working, please feel free to type it in the chat, and we'll follow from there. Thanks a lot for your project.
Great.
Okay, I guess. Yeah, go ahead, Kirsty.
I say our next person is Ariela Farchi, who is unfortunately not able to join us today, but she interned at Quinfica this semester.
Hello everyone, my name is Ariela Farchi, and this summer I had the opportunity to work with the Carbon Reduction Challenge and Quinfica, a pharmaceutical company of natural medicine in Guatemala, to create the Cooling Quinfica project with the objective of helping this company reduce their carbon emissions while creating cost savings. The Cooling Quinfica project is twofold. The first step suggests that Quinfica install cool roofs in all of their warehouses to be able to reduce their HVAC energy consumption while still meeting pharmaceutical industry standards for temperature and humidity and storage. By installing cool roofs, Quinfica will be able to reduce their emissions by 20%, which roughly translates to 10.90 metric tons of carbon each year, and create $26,209 in cost savings. The second step of the project suggests that Quinfica reinvent their sales routes by engaging in virtual platforms and virtual meetings with their customers. Before the pandemic, the sales team used to go on the road every day to visit their clients. But since the pandemic, they have learned to embrace virtual platforms to be able to meet with customers without having to go on the road. By reinventing their routes, Quinfica will be able to spend 3 days a week in their office video conferencing with clients and only 2 days on the road, reducing their carbon emissions and optimizing their time that would have otherwise been spent in traffic. By reinventing their routes, Quinfica will be able to reduce emissions by 137,820 pounds each year and create a total of $99,871 in cost savings. In order to move forward with this project, for the cool roofs, Quinfica will need to define which type of cool roofs are more adequate for their warehouses and find people who install these types of cool roofs in Guatemala. Additionally, the CEO mentioned an interest in seeing how solar panels can be used as cool roofs as well and finding if there is any intersection or overlap between those two programs. In order to reinvent their routes, Quinfica will have to track the government's news about reopening the country to see when they can be on the road visiting clients again, and also clearly define which vendors are absolutely crucial to be on the road every day and which vendors could engage in this new hybrid model of virtual conferencing and in-person visits. I wish I was able to be there with all of you guys and able to answer questions. Thank you so much, regardless, for letting me be part of this experience. It has been wonderful, and I really look forward to applying everything that I have learned to my future.
Super great to hear.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ariela.
So sad that you can't join us, Ariela, wherever you are, but thank you for your amazing presentation and all the work that you have done for your challenge this summer. Hey, Elina, there you are. Next we have Elina Ebby, who's a third-year Georgia Tech student working at Microsoft. Very, very lovely project. So let's hear from her.
Hi, my name is Elina Ebby, and as a former Seattle, Washington resident, I want to protect my childhood home from increased carbon emissions while simultaneously benefiting Microsoft, the company, for the summer.
Thus, I'm bringing to life my Carbon Reductionator policy, a twofold plan which first entails allowing all 3,000 employees of the OneDrive SharePoint team, who are primarily housed in Washington, the option to work from home up to 5 days a week post-COVID. And second, provides developers in the team with the carbon reduction software I developed during my internship this summer, which will reduce data center emissions. The twofold plan will result in maximum carbon and cost savings for Microsoft. Yearly employee savings will compound to approximately 2,000 pounds of carbon emissions and $1,000, and yearly team savings compounds to over 5 million pounds of carbon emissions and nearly $3 million. To illustrate the team's yearly carbon savings, it equates to planting over 100,000 trees. Some co-benefits for the environment and employee-heavy regions include less overall pollution and fewer and less intense traffic jams. Some employee co-benefits include saving money on food and other expenses such as vehicle wear and tear, and increased time to prioritize activities that promote mental and physical well-being, which ultimately leads to increased employee productivity. One roadblock includes 14% of surveyed employees stating that they want to commute to work daily post-COVID because they require more work-life separation. However, continuing incentives such as allowing employees reimbursements for buying office equipment will allow employees to create an office environment at home and establish a work-life separation. A second roadblock is 22% of surveyed developers stating that they did not want to utilize the carbon reduction software because they did not want to worry about an unnecessary metric. However, one of my requests to the Chief Environmental Officer when I presented my project to him was to ask his office to establish a standardized carbon metric across Microsoft so that developers will care about carbon efficiency as much as speed and cost efficiency. The work-from-home viability is currently being discussed by senior executives at Microsoft, and my conversations with the corporate vice president of OneDrive SharePoint hinted that the company overall is leaning towards a hybrid approach, which is exactly what my policy calls for. In addition, further development and mass distribution of the carbon reduction software is already underway by way of a green IT team within Microsoft since my leave. Thus, there is a high likelihood that my policy will have long-term impact within the company. Thank you so much for listening. Here is to maximum carbon and cost savings within Microsoft.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Elina.
Thank you.
Congrats on
Thank
your
you,
project
Elina.
and for being a
This is great.
finalist.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, so we're going to ask you to reflect in a similar manner that your predecessors did here and share with us something that you most took away that you think will really serve you on the forever, as well as reflecting on some of the biggest challenges that you had to overcome to be here.
Yeah, for sure. So I had two challenges, I would say. The first challenge was I wanted to reach as wide as an audience as possible within Microsoft. So I ideally wanted to send out the survey and the pre-survey to all of Microsoft. But after talking to the Chief Environmental Officer, I realized that it was not possible because they have a very specific alias for that, and they have like high priority communications are the only ones that are sent out through that email. So I relied on like the team alias that I have that reaches 3,000 people because I feel like that was also representative of the entire company. The second challenge I kind of faced was it being virtual. So I wasn't really sure about how things were run pre-COVID. But my mentors came in really handy in terms of that because they were able to talk me through how people normally commuted and how we need like flexible work schedules for Microsoft employees because that's something that's very valued to them. So I was able to, that's why I suggested a 5-day policy so that people have the opportunity to work every day if they need to. And something that I took away is just like within Microsoft, just noticing how everybody's so enthusiastic about carbon reductions and so on and so forth, and like I kind of internalized that, and I was already a very carbon reduction, like always turning off the lights, conserving water and so on and so forth, but I feel like I've taken it to a whole other level now. It's like totally ingrained within my lifestyle. So yeah, I'm just really grateful to the challenge to where I was able to learn more about carbon reductions and see where I can make an impact, and to realize that I can make an impact within such a big company like Microsoft, and to hear people listening to what I was saying and actually taking that into account was really nice to see. But yeah.
Yay!
Thanks. Your enthusiasm and passion definitely shown
I
through.
could listen to you talk all day about that. To my ears. So we'll give you you're now a card-carrying member of the Unapologetically Obsessed with Carbon Club, which I started recently. So welcome.
Oh, I would love a membership. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Elina, for your work. All right. Well, let's move on to our next finalist, Neha Badam, second year. Hello, Neha. Welcome. Congratulations. Second year Georgia Tech, a student interning at Medtronic. So let's look at her video.
Hi, I'm Neha Badam, and I'm a BME student at Georgia Tech. This summer, I partnered with Medtronic to propose a plan that could save 2.7 million pounds of CO2 per year. Greenhouse gases like CO2 trap heat near the Earth's surface. This causes rises in sea levels and changes in our cryosphere. 10% of the nation's carbon emissions are due to the healthcare industry. Medtronic has recognized this and has taken steps to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions by 38% since 2013. I've developed a project to reduce carbon emissions even more by shifting from an on-site work environment to a work-from-home environment. The table on this slide summarizes the carbon reductions and cost savings per year for the proposal. The full calculations are listed on the report. This chart shows each capacity state for on-site workers. For example, at full capacity, 774 workers are on-site. At current capacity, we see that 42% of workers are on-site full-time. This number was derived from the data from the Jacksonville Medtronic site. This recommended low-capacity state was calculated by shifting all current full-time on-site employees to being on-site rotationally, so that they would only be on-site 50% of the time. These changes translate to a 2.7 million pound decrease in carbon emissions for Medtronic, and about $800,000 collectively saved for our employees. Additional co-benefits of this proposal include more space for social distancing in the workplace and increased productivity due to eliminated commute times and workplace distractions. As previously stated, a partial work-from-home order has already been implemented at Medtronic. On August 12th, I will present these findings to a stakeholder to encourage a continued shift to work from home. Thank you for listening, and good luck for all the students participating.
Yay! Great job.
Thanks so
Neha.
much.
Thank you.
Well done, Neha. So we have, I guess, the same question, same reflection question. What's the one thing you take with you that you'll carry forward, and what was the most challenging aspect of this project for you?
Yeah, so the most challenging part of this project for me was the fact that my internship was completely remote, and then also this was a company that I've never interned with before, I've never worked with before, so I didn't really have many connections inside the company other than my hiring manager. So what ended up happening actually was I was able to get a lot of information and employee insight from just these one-on-one meetings. And I would just basically reach out to employees or people that people had recommended. And I sent them an email and said, hey, would you have 15 minutes to talk about this carbon reductions project that I'm trying to do? And it was actually really great, not only to get their insight for this project, but also to form a connection. There weren't very many one-on-one meetings that I had throughout my internship that weren't really regarding this project. So it was really cool to sit down with not only people from my department, which was the quality engineering department, but I also got to sit down with people from, sterilization, microbiology, manufacturing, R&D. So it was really cool to kind of get an overview of like everyone who worked at the site and then form connections with people in different areas of expertise. So I think the thing that I kind of have taken away from this experience is not only kind of forming these one-on-one connections remotely even, but also I was able to present these findings with my kind of team and some leadership last week when I had my final presentations for my internship. And I presented all my work from internship, but a lot of the questions I had were focused on this part, the carbon reduction program. And so I think it was kind of eye-opening to see these numbers and to see, we can save 2.7 million pounds of CO2 per year just by working rotationally. And I think that was the first time that like leadership and even just like normal employees had considered this. So I think the biggest thing I took away from this was kind of a lot of people really do care about this, but you kind of have to give them the information and show them the impact that they can make.
That's wonderful. And, it's so true what you're saying that, well, two things I'm taking away from what you're saying. One is clearly carbon cuts across the whole organization. So you really do need to reach out to different functions and see how they fit in and how they can be incentivized and excited. And secondly, moving projects forward in a distributed way is very much relationship-based, and it looks like you're off to a really good start. taking not just baby steps, but even quite big steps in that direction through this internship. Yeah, well done.
Thank you so much for this
And
opportunity.
I'll echo back, Neha, with some additional reflections drawing from some of the previous finalist comments as well. Just recognizing how amazing it must feel as champions in this space to recognize how much influence your voices do have, even within these amazingly complex and large organizations. There are very robust champions who are waiting to connect and be the wind under your sails to help you achieve some of your most ambitious goals in this space. So I think that that's something that we can take away. And the second point is something that you said about resonates so much, I think, with all of us, which is there's so many people who really want to make a difference, who really do care, but don't really have access to the data and the planning that you have provided this particular organization during your work this summer. And so they are, don't really know where to go or what to do. And so that's really where the Carbon Reduction Challenge excels in highlighting some of that lowest hanging fruit, bringing the numbers so that you can provide evidence-based decision making to the leadership who really shares a charge very often to make some big steps in this carbon reduction space. So thank you for the opportunity to echo back some of the core themes that we hear again and again in the Carbon Reduction Challenge. From the student's mouth, there's nothing better than that. So thank you.
Thanks for this opportunity.
Congrats. Okay, and we also have from Agnes Scott, Zoie Moore, who's a fourth year there, and she's going to talk about her work in the Work for Home space in Agnes Scott. Hi, Zoie, congratulations.
Hi, my name is Zoie Moore, and I will be talking about a new proposal or recommendations to the Agnes Scott College telecommute policy. Therefore, my title is called Telecommuting 2.0 Post-COVID. Three main recommendations that I have from my project is that number one, define benefits and employees to the college itself. Number two, create a simple and accessible form to submit the policy to supervisors. And number three, define on what grounds an employee can be terminated or can no longer use telecommuting policy for whatever reason. After my calculations, I found out that out of the 426 Agnes staff, an Agnes staff employee can save over 5,508 pounds of CO2 a year, as well as 537 a year. So why it's really important to telecommute is that telecommuting saves time, saves money, as well as increased use and personal agency of public transportation, as well as developing a deeper trust among employees and employers, thus increasing worker productivity. Other cool benefits of telecommuting is that it saves on carbon emissions, as well as decreasing office supplies and absenteeism, as well as increasing sustainability on campus itself. Some obstacles that I ran into was, of course, how do you ensure confidentiality, working with Zoom fatigue, and ensuring physical and social interactions for employees. Therefore, I have some, to minimize some of these obstacles, is to provide trainings, workshops, and having mandatory check-ins to supervisors, as well as redefining a work-from-home culture. In summary, I found out that, of course, employees can save time, money, and carbon emissions from telecommuting, even if they could telecommute 2 or 3 days out of that week. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed.
Wonderful presentation, Zoie. Thank you so much for sharing your summer's long work with our audience today and for being part of the challenge. And again, congratulations for making it this far. Very exciting. And I guess we would love to hear your perspective as well on those two questions we have been enjoying hearing from the students about. Again, some of the key takeaway or key benefit, and then again, some comments on some of the challenges that you found working through your project.
Yeah, so thank you again. Hi, I'm Zoie. So of course, telecommuting has some really cool benefits such as saving time, money, and of course carbon emission rates. Some of those challenges I did run across while providing recommendations was how to ensure confidentiality and privacy in a home, especially if there are children in the home or if you're working with money or something similar like that. As well as another challenge that I ran across was how does the telecommute policy impact those who may not can telecommute, such as those who work in dining services or custodial services. So how does the telecommute policy work for staff that do those type of jobs? As well, my overall challenge was to see how telecommuting impacts the higher education field, such as how do you interact with students, as well as still connecting with your other staff and employees. One key takeaway that I got from everything this whole 8 weeks was that I would love to work in the education field myself. And so this is, I believe telecommuting is going to be the next normal. So this challenge was a great eye-opener to say, like, okay, what's going to be next? Getting that one step ahead of our other, other factors and other stuff that's going to be happening. So of course, this is a great opportunity to see what's going to be challenges and how to go ahead and ensure those, especially as we are future leaders and are going to be going into these type of jobs. So this is a great way to see, okay, what are we going to expect and what ways can we kind of minimize those obstacles as well. I also received many positive feedback from my pre-surveys, so I'm positive and feeling really good that Agnes was receptive to these recommendations and we'll hopefully implement them. I've been talking to my supervisor and we're kind of getting that in the works of going to our president and getting that set up. So maybe this will be, again, the new normal, and other colleges and high school, middle schools will have similar recommendations and plans.
Excellent. Wow. What an accomplishment to be able to work with your supervisor to engage the president and try to move this towards a concrete policy development. And I love how you spoke about the aspect of system intervention. I love your bullishness on the changes that may outlast the pandemic across higher education, and your vision for yourself as a champion of innovation in higher ed, which, you know, we do need. Okay, we very much do need. So thank you, Zoie, for your passion and your purpose in sharing your comments and your project with us just now. And it's really, really exciting and great work.
Thank you.
You know, one thing that I do have to comment on, of course, Kim and I were and are advanced professors at Georgia Tech, and advanced is a program that has to do with the advancement of women and underrepresented minorities in academia. And I just cannot help but notice that this challenge and those who made it to the final 6 really exemplify the best of what it means when diverse voices just step up and show leadership and have their voice heard, whether it be on carbon, on better quality working conditions, which work from home has to do with, really, or anything else. So kudos to you for stepping up and for going the whole way. Thank you. It's very inspiring. Very inspiring.
It's super inspiring. I remember when I first saw the list of finalists, I said to the rest of the team, where are all the men anyway?
So I thought the same thing. I was like, where did all the men go? But I'm very happy to say that we have so many successful women.
I think it's just that Beryl and I are just, so inspiring or something, right? It is amazing to see.
We've had good balance across the years. And actually, I see Casey was online. Hi, Casey. He was a winner a couple of years ago.
That's right.
Hi, everyone. How's it going?
We celebrate
Good to see you, Casey.
All aspects of gender diversity, even our lovely male competitors this season, of which there were many not represented on the stage today. Okay, so now we're going to, I believe, turn to an audience Q&A. And so I think the best way to do this is to probably drop your questions in the chat. Some of you have already done that for some of our panelists, and maybe panelists, students, if you could go through the chat bar and maybe pick up one that you might like to comment on. Maybe we'll go down the line in order of presentation that you just presented in. And so I believe that would be starting with Adrianna. Adrianna, they had a couple questions for you. Are you on? Where are you, Adrianna?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you are. Okay.
Hello.
So yeah, if you guys could do that, we're going to go into a judging deliberation, and I think we'll have some folks on hand to help you in case of technical issues. But I think this should be a lovely exchange with the audience, and they had a lot of questions. Okay, does that sound good? Okay, we'll see you in a bit, everybody. Enjoy.
Yes, we invite the judges to leave for the other room, and we will start asking questions.
Kirsty, so I just end this call and go to the other invitation, right?
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you again, finalists, for being here. We're really excited to watch all your presentations. I do have a couple of questions from some of our judges, if you guys are okay with that. So I'm actually going to start with, I don't think Annamorie's on here, but I'll start with Elina. Is there any cost to Microsoft for implementing either the work from home policy or the carbon reduction software?
The carbon reduction software does not have any cost associated with it because I developed it. Me and my other group members, we developed it within Microsoft, so we're not having to reach out to other people or so on and so forth. In terms of working from home, there is no cost associated with that either, aside from I mentioned within my report that Microsoft right now has a program where they reimburse employees for buying large office supplies, let's say a desk or a chair to set up their monitors and so on and so forth. So by continuing that kind of incentivizes their employees to work from home. So that would be the only cost, but I feel like the carbon savings and the cost savings completely offset the office supply reimbursement program.
Thank you, Elina.
Sure.
Kind of the same question to Neha as well. Are there any costs to Medtronic for implementing this work from home policy on an ongoing basis?
Yeah, so first of all, Elina, I think it's super cool that you developed a carbon reduction software. That's so cool. But on the note of Medtronic and the cost savings, so actually there aren't necessarily more costs for employees to be working at home, and especially what we're seeing is during these times, in the healthcare industry, the Jacksonville Medtronic site that I worked at was kind of this department for ENT, which are ear, nose, and throat devices. So a lot of the devices we used are used for elective surgeries. And we kind of saw a pause in elective surgeries earlier on in the COVID pandemic. So we could see that we were able to kind of, slow down manufacturing a little bit because we didn't have as high of a demand back then. So it was okay to kind of, pull back a few of our manufacturing employees and have them working from home rather than working on site, which was really cool. And then also in my next steps, I kind of added in this part where I was saying, Medtronic has locations all over the world. So a lot of times our employees kind of have to fly to get from the United States to China to Australia. So I was saying, maybe we could do some collaboration internationally online rather than flying everywhere, and that would further our carbon reductions. And so we're actually seeing another intern develop this project where we have this thing at Medtronic called FTQ, which is first time quality. And it's basically a lot of people sit down together for 2 days and kind of find any errors in our manufacturing process. And they developed a way to do that online. So again, that's another savings. So we're not really seeing much more costs, and it's especially because of this COVID pandemic climate that we're in.
Very cool. Thank you. Adrianna, I see that you responded to Ann Rogers' question, but could you just talk a little bit more about how work from home, or how could the calculations be on work from home be applied to workers outside the UPS? And could others use your methodology to understand work from home models in their organization?
Sure. So what I did was I really only used the commute information from our employees, which any company could really capture. I went a little more specific by asking for their commute mileage on both highways and city roads, and also for their car model. So I was able to capture a more specific amount of carbon emissions that each of them were producing. And this could really be used by, these calculations could really be used by any company with that information for their employees. And I think the only real difference that I saw was that a lot of the employees I surveyed were in the Atlanta area, but our offices are a little farther up north. So they actually had pretty long commutes, and there might be greater carbon reduction and cost savings for employees in this area.
Great, thank you, Adrianna.
Mm-hmm.
For Annamarie, could you talk a little bit more about the virtual conference platforms and just an analysis? Were there did you look at other virtual conference platforms when you were doing your research, or can you just expand a little bit more upon that?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, when I was kind of figuring out how much a virtual platform would cost, I looked at some current systems on the market and kind of looked at the pricings for that, and they would vary depending on kind of the specific needs, but they do offer a lot of kind of almost AI-like technology, which is really cool. And those, for example, two companies are vFair and Noonify, and they have been used pretty successfully recently for virtual conferences. And so that's kind of an exciting thing to see. So yeah, I did look into specifically how much those cost and what kind of services they would offer. Yeah.
Great, thank you. For Zoe, a question from carbon savings associated with work from home. Was there any consideration to other carbon savings associated with not being on campus, perhaps food waste or other energy costs? Would you like to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, for sure. So there are some costs, of course, with telecommuting. One of those, in terms of equity, the increase of energy and utility bills in the employee's household. Atlanta is number 3 already and third in the nation for highest energy burden. So the number is probably going to increase due to telecommuting and of course with COVID. So that's another cost that I encountered throughout my project. Of course, food insecurity. I know with schools, we're talking about how children not have access to food meals and preps. So that same issue may also relate to employees as well, not having that dining service option there. But there have been some nice benefits due to telecommuting. Due to the current results, since Agnes has been remote learning since March, there has been savings on utilities over $80,000. So far, we're projected to save over $320,000 a year just on utility savings. So that's a huge benefit, of course, on carbon emission rates being reduced, as well as money being saved that can go to other assets of Agnes, such as COVID care kits, or student service fees, or whatever that may be.
Great. So this is from Rebecca Hall. And this, I guess, can be to any one of you that wants to take it up. But she said, not surprisingly, telecommuting is a popular option in this year's projects. Several of you raised some of the concerns associated with teleworking shared by employees. She's interested to know your thoughts on equity considerations that may be important. Sorry, my thing. Okay. That may be important to consider with respect to teleworking plans.
Yeah, so kind of just piggybacking off that, in terms of equity, increase of energy utility bills in employees' household, especially if they already were going through energy savings before COVID, as well as food insecurity and other costs as well. So a few recommendations that I proposed in my project was probably do a collaboration or partnership with Georgia Power. I know they do some incentive programs, so definitely making them more aware to employees and maybe offering some type of service for employees, or even higher education in general, because this issue may be going around everywhere else as well.
I think that's a really good point, and it's really cool that you consider that in your paper. I think also another good point is something that Elina brought up, and Medtronic actually does it too, where we allow like employees to rent out equipment, like or use company funds to buy equipment that could make your house have a better office life. So if you don't necessarily have a desk or don't necessarily have an office chair or a good office environment in your home, the company will be able to provide those resources for you, which I think will help make this experience more equitable.
I can kind of also build off of that, is that you can actually, by being able to attend like academic conferences virtually, you can actually get access to a lot of people who may not have the funds to travel to these conferences, and being able to network with people and really expand their opportunities, particularly people who have primary child caring responsibilities, or may not be able to afford the travel, or just can't travel at all due to health concerns, particularly in the wake of COVID-19.
Does anybody else want to add on to that? No, go for it, Elina.
Oh, I was just saying, like, since I already discussed it before, like the same going for the whole work from like the office setup. I feel like that will go a long way, because if you feel comfortable from where you're working, then you'll like be more productive and like create more revenue and like just more productivity within the company.
So I guess from me, I would like to just ask, what was the most surprising thing that you found? Because you all did surveys, you all did free surveys, and you got feedback from a lot of your people that took these surveys. What was one of the most surprising things that you found? Because you did ask questions about work-life balance and other important things like that. So just curious to know if there was something from that you gleaned that you would like to share.
Yeah, for sure. So one of the things I noticed was how people were saying like a lot of like their stress levels were increasing. So in my pre-survey, they said that their stress levels were increasing like during COVID, and so to follow up to make sure that it wasn't just like from working from home exclusively, in my survey I asked specifically if there were external factors outside of like working from home that was causing these kind of like external like stressors, or like if there were external stressors that were affecting their personal life. And I gave them a response box so that they could like provide me feedback, and it was like interesting to see how there were so many different factors, like their kids being at home, so they have to take care of their kids as well, and just the stress about the pandemic in general. So I feel like once all of this kind of settles, I feel like everybody's stress levels will also decrease, and productivity will increase exponentially. And maybe not exponentially, linearly, at least for sure.
Yeah, I can kind of hop into that and say that I was really surprised about how people answered the productivity question. And so like we kind of had a question that was like, how has your productivity been impacted since you've started working from home? And I saw overwhelmingly that productivity had increased in employees. And when I went to do kind of my one-on-one chats with people, what I learned was a lot of times though I guess the work environment at Medtronic, which is super great because it's very collaborative, it's a very open office space, meaning that, if I'm an engineer and I have to go ask manufacturing something, I just walk over to manufacturing and they help me out right then and there. So what I found was employees were, when they're online, they can kind of organize and strategically plan when they need to help someone instead of doing it right away, in order to be able to finish the task that they're working on right then, and then being able to prioritize helping out someone else. So they got kind of less disruptions during their workday and allowed them to increase productivity through that, which I thought was really cool.
I want to add on to that. I also added another question about employees' perceived ability to perform their job from home. And I also received similar results, that people were saying they were much more productive from home. I found that while still it was the majority of employees saying that there is no change or increased ability to perform their job from home, it was a lot there was about 50% who said there's no change, and still very few said that they were not able to perform their job well from home. But I thought it was interesting just the contrast in people saying that they are much more productive and that they're still able to perform their job well from home.
I also had similar results as well. There's kind of 50-50 on in productive and worker productivity increasing, as well as some were like, I'm still stressed out, which is, valuable. Some cool comments that I also got from my survey was that they were wanting to telecommute. It's not surprising. They were like, we really want a program like that. It wasn't really well received before COVID. So I think there's going to be a shift in telecommuting culture going on as well. One person did make a comment that they wanted like a more bike policy. So I thought that was really cool, different parts of our campus. So they're like, I would want to bike to campus. So that was also some results that I got from my survey.
I actually also wanted to add, I'm sorry if anybody else had anything else to add, but I was also surprised about how like work from home policies were so frowned upon before COVID, because especially because Microsoft is such a computer-based company, if that makes sense. Like everything could be virtual, and everything is virtual, and things are going perfectly, or things are still working efficiently. So it was kind of interesting to see how they didn't really encourage work from home before, and of course now that it was kind of mandated, just to see how it requires sometimes a crazy event the pandemic or something of that magnitude for people to really rethink their entire thought processes about what works and what doesn't work and what's efficient and what's not efficient. So that was just interesting to see, because now everybody's when they were answering the survey, they were saying oh, we all want to work from home, and the managers were also saying oh, we're okay with our employees working from home because we realize that productivity is still increasing and people are still being very productive at home, and they have the chance to have more flexible schedules. Once again, that's a very integral part of having great workmanship.
That's a very interesting point, Elina, and I kind of want to comment on that because it was kind of brought up in the side chat. But you talk about there is more encouragement. Are any of your companies, so this is for any of you, helping to work from home by offering additional benefits such as childcare, stipends for work from home office? Elina, I guess if you can start since you're on my screen.
Yeah, for sure. So I was actually in a meeting, and they were talking about, they were like, oh, we should have the money that we save on community, or the money that Microsoft saves on somebody mentioned earlier food or energy costs and things of that nature, we could funnel into giving people a stipend for food, because they were saying oh, I need my coffee daily, if that makes sense. And they were because they would get it from Microsoft normally, but they were oh, can we get a stipend for that? They were just jokingly bringing it up, but I feel that's a great incentive, offering a stipend for food and snacks and beverages of that nature, or just a monthly DoorDash coupon or something of that nature, because Microsoft would provide meals and snacks before. So I think that would also further incentivize people to stay at home. And yeah. I hope that answered your question. Oh, yeah.
Does anyone else want to add on to that? Or did anyone see anything? It might be a little bit too early yet, but.
Can you repeat the question one more time? Sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just wondering, since we did kind of flip on that paradigm that Elina was talking about of we are now encouraging people to work from home, are companies, because they're encouraging work from home, are they offering any additional benefits like childcare, which is one that comes to my top of mind, or stipends for a work office?
At least for Agnes, in terms of telecommuting, not quite yet, but there were some programs with Georgia Commute Options. Very great resource. I definitely recommend it. Shout out to my supervisor for that link. Providing incentives to use public transportation or carpooling, such as getting free parking spots or free discounts on, whatever it may be. So maybe that can translate to telecommuting policies as well.
Yeah, I know at Medtronic, like I was saying, you can go to their IT website and just say, I want like an office chair, or I want like a desk or something like that, and you can get the company to provide a stipend for that, or to send you the materials that you're asking for, which I think is really cool.
All right, so hi Chair C, I'm back here, and I think most of the judging team is back. At least I hope. I'm checking here. We were in really very hard and tortured deliberations here. So obviously we have an extremely strong set of finalists and exciting projects and a lot of enthusiasm and amazing learning outcomes that I know many of you will take with you forever, but some of you will be taking some very hard cash prizes with you today as well. So let's get down to that. And again, thank you to all of you for being here today, and your passion, enthusiasm, and hard work for the whole summer. The judging was really conducted over a set of deliverables that occurred over the entire summer. Judged on a number of criteria, including the rigor of the calculations, the documentation, the professionalism displayed by the team members and the project leads themselves, stakeholder engagement, and likelihood of implementation. There are a number of criteria that were shared with every participant of the Carbon Reduction Challenge ahead of the competition this summer. And we are very grateful to be served by two external judges in deciding the outcomes today, who poured over those final reports that you guys submitted. So thank you for those amazing jobs. Raul Saxena, the Associate Director of Create X at Georgia Tech, and Steve Murchison, a longtime affiliate and former student ambassador for the Ray C. Anderson Center for Sustainable Business. I know. I'm very happy to have had their service in this judging of the competition, as it is not easy. It really takes some time and dedication to look at all of that material and to be deliberative and to join us today in the deliberation session that we just had to determine the winners today. So Lalith, are we ready to go through the prize slide deck? So it was very, very tortured today. And
we needed a drum roll here, drum roll.
I know, right? I know. We do need a Zoom drum roll. There should be an app for that. But we did decide on three cash prize winners. So we have a first prize, a second prize, and a third prize for the cash prize tier. And then we also have a number of honorable mentions that we will award to the finalists today as well. So let's see. I don't know if Lalith is here. Oh, here we are. Okay, great. So again, just a review of all of our finalists who we heard from today. I know 5 of the 6 are on live right now. So let us move forward, Lalith. So the first honorable mention prize is to Adrianna Fu from UPS, and very, very good job getting this far, and we're thrilled to share in your accomplishments at UPS, and so exciting to hear that there may be an audience for your work going forward there, and we stand ready to support you as you move forward in that project. So thank you, Adrianna. Let's give Adrianna a round of applause.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adrianna.
Thanks, Adrianna. Well done.
Next, please. Next, we have Annamarie Eustice from the Georgia Tech on the virtual attendance at conference. And again, congratulations, Annamarie. And we also stand ready to be your champion and help support you as you also think about the next steps for your project at Georgia Tech. You will find a very strong advocate in me as somebody who has committed to stay on the ground in 2020 before that was a thing. And so I'm very eager to partner with you, Annamarie, in thinking about what that would mean to get some buy-in from not just your own lab, but across Georgia Tech in general. So congratulations and onwards for you too. Let's give her a round of applause. I'm the only one audibly clapping here, which is weird on Zoom. We need a speaker. We really do need an app for that.
Well, everyone feel free to unmute yourselves to clap.
Impromptu crash on the Zoom. Okay. Okay, be careful what you wish for, Beryl. Okay.
That was great.
Next, please, Lala. And last but not least, on the honorable mention category, we have Zoie Moore from Agnes Scott. Zoie, congratulations, and thank you for all the hard work that you put in moving your project forward. I know you worked extremely closely with our team this summer, and we are also very, very happy to continue working with you to support you as you move your project forward. So, congratulations, Zoie.
Somebody's happy.
A round of applause. Okay, very good. On to the first third place winner here, Lala. Ariela. So Ariela can't be here today, but we are super thankful for her work at Quinfica over in Guatemala, working a number of projects forward and raising awareness around the company for carbon reduction in general. So, is this her? Is it the thank you video that she has?
Yep.
I love it.
She sent a thank you video, and I really want to share it because it shows the beautiful background of Guatemala.
Oh, please, bring it, bring it. Maybe audio issues?
Yeah, 1 second.
While we're waiting on that, so one of the things that Ariela did was to look at climate communications information and then create a short video in Spanish for Quinfica that was distributed around the company. And that really contributed to increasing awareness. So that was an extra step that she took, which was very nice.
Everyone, thank you so much. This is such a big honor. I'm so grateful to the entire team, the carbon reduction team, the Quinfica team. This has been such a wonderful experience that I have been lucky to be a part of. I have learned so much and grown so much, and I'm so excited to take everything that I've learned this summer and apply it to my future and my career. And again, thank you so much.
Yay, yay, Ariela. We are thrilled for you. And we wish you the best. Congratulations. You are walking away today with $500 in cash for third prize. I don't know how much that is in Guatemalan currency, but I hope you can enjoy that for the fruits of your labor. So congratulations, Ariela. Okay, next up we have our second prize winner. With a click here, we have Neha placing in second. So Neha, congratulations for your accomplishments.
Thank you so much for all your help, and congrats to all the other finalists. You guys did amazing projects.
Very, very amazing project that you led, and Neha, you will be enjoying $1,000 cash prize today as our second place winner. And again, all of the other benefits you will carry forward as well. So let's give Neha a big round of applause. Yay!
Thank you.
Yay! Okay.
Congratulations, Neha.
Last but not least, by process of elimination, we have our first place winner.
Thank you so much.
Elina, congratulations, our grand prize winner for the product.
Thank you.
2020, Elina Ebby from Microsoft, walking away with $2,000 cash prize for her amazing efforts at Microsoft and your hard work and dedication. And we also stand ready to help you and all of our prize winners carry that project forward to maximum impact at your organization and stand ready to support you in your future career moves as well. So you are all now part of the Carbon Reduction Challenge family. And we stand ready to provide cheerleading support as well as advice for years to come. So thank you so much for all of your work, and congratulations, Elina. Yay!
Thank you so much for all your help. I would not have been able to accomplish this without your guidance and your support all throughout. And also shout out to all my Microsoft mentors as well. They weren't able to make it, but they were also very invaluable throughout this whole process. They were so willing to help me out. So yeah, thank you so much. And congratulations to everybody else. It was great seeing everybody's presentations and y'all's like all the hard work you've put in. It was just amazing to see.
Well, we share all of your enthusiasm for all the projects that we saw today, and again, amazing job across the entire finalist slate. Beryl, do you want to slather on some additional praise and gratitude?
Yeah, absolutely. In addition to everything that was said, I was just very impressed with how responsive and engaged everyone was. When we offered feedback, it was taken in great spirit, very constructive, positive spirit, and the projects moved ahead by leaps and bounds. So that was, going through that experience of mentoring students and student leaders who are really into doing a good job is just one of the most satisfying parts of being an educator, and this is really wonderful. I think I also want to thank everybody who's online right now. I see some mentors. Susan Kidd from Agnes Scott is on. Thank you, Susan, for your partnership. I see from Emory, Dan Rochberg, thanks for your partnership. I see John and Valerie and Lori from the Ray C. Anderson Foundation. Thank you for your partnership and for launching this very impactful carbon reduction challenge, as well as our partners across Georgia Tech. I see a great number of people. I hope you don't mind if I don't call out my name. We appreciate all of you. Thanks for your contributions and partnership.
Yes. So with that, we've come to the end of the agenda, and with the awarding of the prizes, we will let this amazing slate of finalists off the hook and able to enjoy the rest of their summer as they breathe some, I'm sure, very deep sighs of relief and hopefully really get to enjoy some much needed rest before the start of what I know will be one of the strangest semesters we all have ever done in our entire lives. Please stay safe as you continue your journeys, and again, the most important thing, please stay in touch. You all mean so much to us, not just the finalists, but all the participants. And Beryl and I do this because we get so much out of watching you. Just burn through this super fast process, this blitz, if you will, with such passion and such purpose and such dedication, and with such amazing results. I mean, I'm very fond of reminding our audiences that I could bike to work for probably 1,000,000 years and I would never accomplish the kind of carbon savings that you have achieved in these 10 short weeks. And so again, it's just such a testament to the difference that one individual can make when they have the support and the buy-in that they need to achieve some of their most highest ambitions. So wherever you go and whatever you do in life from here on out, I know you will take those lessons with you, and we will take the lessons and the inspiration of your work with us wherever we go as well. So again, thank you for building and helping us to maintain such a strong community around sustainability at Georgia Tech and beyond. And I'm really looking forward to all that you will achieve in the coming years with your amazing work. Thank you, everybody. And again, a special shout out and thank you to Lalith Pulapeti and Kirsty Lukens for this amazing, smooth virtual awards and finalist presentation. I was absolutely entranced and always amazed by the caliber and passion for the work that you bring as well. So thank you guys so much. And with that, I guess we'll
second that wholeheartedly, Lalith and Kirsty.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you on campus, I suppose.
Bye, everyone.
See you in the
Thank
Zoom
you, and
land.
stay in touch.
Stay safe. Please stay safe, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.